As we continue our discussion about replenishment today, we want to turn our focus on shrinkage and what sort of impact shrinkage can have on replenishment. And we brought an expert in, Eric White, who's with Tyco. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me back.
Of course. Define shrinkage. I think that's where we need to start off in our conversation.
Yes, you can look at shrinkage in three different ways, really. There's an administrative aspect to it, which is how you account for the product. And then there's the physical loss of the product. And that in retail is generally due to internal theft or external theft.
So what can you do in each of those areas as a supplier? Like, ooh, I want more control so I don't have that shrinkage.
Right. So especially focused on the administrative side of it, inventory accuracy is what's critical. And it's critical not just for shrink reduction, but for sales improvement, right? So inventory distortion and the control of distortion of your inventory, whether it's net positive or negative, is important to a supplier. And RFID is a technology that can help accelerate that lack of or reduction of inventory distortion. On the physical loss side of the equation, suppliers can look at packaging protocol and messaging to the customer, security component messaging, and you can put a tag inside of the product or inside of the packaging, and the alarm that's already existing in the store will go off at the door. And with Walmart's more at the door philosophy, now there's more people there, which is a deterrent. And in the end, you're trying to put speed bumps in front of
that might deter somebody from making that choice.
Just give them an opportunity to make a different choice.
Are there categories that are more vulnerable than others?
Yeah, in big box retail, it's almost generally always color cosmetics, over-the-counter, OTC, electronics, and then any higher price point item or highly sought-after item is a likely target.
I would imagine something small.
Yeah, something that's easily concealed is always more difficult to protect and also easier for bad guys to do what they do.
So when I walk into a store and I see a well-stocked shelf, how does that impact shrinkage?
Yeah, so a well-stocked shelf impacts shrinkage in two ways. One is on the administrative side, you're probably accurate. A clean, fresh store, fresh, friendly store will be a symptom of, right, a well-run store. And so you've probably got a good operation inside of that building. So on one hand, there's probably a very good operational aspect and component to the store. On the other hand, from the deviant behavior side, the psychology of someone who wants to do something not normal, like steal, is that they see an environment that's less chaotic and they're less comfortable operating in that environment. So it's more likely you'll notice if I take a product off from a clean, well-stocked shelf than it is if I take one off a messy shelf that you can't tell what belongs where. I'm more comfortable in a chaotic environment than I am in a clean, sterile environment if I'm trying to do something wrong.
So shrinkage affecting in-stock, out-of-stock, what can suppliers be thinking about from that angle?
So in-stock, out-of-stock, and inventory accuracy is kind of the key, right? So the must arrive by date program will drive product to the store at a more predictable time frame and should, in the end, drive operational improvements that you see more of those full shelves and the lack of missed sales because of out-of-stocks. So suppliers should be thinking about 95% of their time, thinking about how do I take care of the customer, how do I merchandise to the customer and cause them to go from browsing to buying, and 5% of their time just pause and think about it from a deviant perspective, meaning what can I do to prevent someone from taking this item or help them make a better decision than stealing the product.
Thank you very much for being with us. You gave us good information for our suppliers to think about and learn from. That 5% is important to be mindful of. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.